What's up, guys? Welcome to the channel. We are back at the Village Ford over here, and as you guys can see, we are doing another car review. What are we doing a car review on today? Well, last time we just drove a 2015 Ford Mustang GT. So now I'm kind of curious to know, I felt what 460 horsepower was. So what exactly we're going to test drive today to even compare it to? Well, guys, we're going to be test driving this one. This is the 2018 Ford Mustang Ecoboost engine. Now that's a 4-cylinder engine versus the other is the V8. So I'm kind of curious to know what's the powers like. This car is mean. Check this thing out. I love the color on it. It's sick. I'm not even sure if you guys can see it from there. Look at that, right in the glare. It's beautiful. All right, let's check it right out. Let's get into this car and see how it is. I love the color, absolutely. This is the performance package, guys, so it comes with it. All these type of things, these little bells and whistles, if you can call it. Pirelli tires, love the wheels on them. I love the color. We'll pop the hood later and check it out. But we're gonna see exactly, from what I'm hearing, people are bragging about the actual boost on this car that actually has a nice pickup. So I'm kind of curious to know how it really is. Let's get right into it, fellas and ladies. We're gonna run out of gas by the time we get this video started. All right, guys, so right away we're in the car. We are in the cabin, just like the 15. It's got the deep speedometers, which I absolutely love. Look how deep that is. So nobody's gonna see how fast you're actually going in your passenger seat. So if you guys are riding with your mom, she's not gonna bother you. I love the look of it. It's very similar to the 2018. And by the way, I got my uncle in the car, my Uncle Jimmy, so he'll give a little feedback as well. So right here, you got the big screen, a little more modernized than the 15, obviously. Got the push start, just like the other. One second, let me fix this phone. Sorry about that. Getting a little better quality there. So, actually some good foot room, as you can see.
Oh, definitely.
Definitely. All the seats, this is full back if I have it. So, look, I'm 6 feet, and I'm barely touching the wheels there. But, if you are taller than me, notice that's going to be your back seat room. There's not going to be much. Now, this one does have cloth, so keep that in mind as well. Right off the bat, I'm going to give you the pitfalls for this car. If you're going to spend this type of money, you're going to want a GT. You're going to want that V8, but we're going to find out how quick it is and see exactly, is it really worth all the money. Now, also, another thing is, if I'm spending $40,000, $39,000 at the end of the day, I want some leather seats personally, and that's one thing that this car does not have. So that's kind of a down for me, but I have not test driven the car yet, and I'm hoping that I am wrong on the price value. So let's get right into it, guys. Get my seatbelt on, follow the law, be safe. I will say this has a nicer steering wheel than the first one. I'll give it that. Smooth, not loud. I love the color of this car. And look, there's another one just driving right in front of us. So I thought that it was going to be very rare to see this color, but right now as we were driving, there's one that just drove in front of me. Exact same color, model, and everything. First pull out, nice and smooth. It feels like it's got some power to it. Right, by the way, obviously you can't feel it right now, but the way my foot is pushing on the gas, I'm pushing it on lightly, and you can tell that it wants me to push it harder. It's got that little bit more sensitivity. Just like the other Mustangs, guys, I really dig the buttons on the front. I love the look of a rocket ship. I mean, that's what I feel like. I feel like I'm in a cockpit of a jet. So let me get to quickly. Boom. So obviously, guys, I love this look. Love the look of it. Beautiful. I do. I really do like that. All right, we're gonna push it a little bit. This car only has 50 miles on it. I love the steering wheel. Kind of light, and you can tell right off the bat it's very not cheap. I don't want to say it's cheap. All right, so if you notice here, guys, as I'm driving, check this out. Like, you want your car to feel solid, but check this out. It's like, I mean, fingers like that. Not doing much. I mean, it's shaking a little bit. So I don't know if that's quality or if it's, I would want, if I do this, I want my car to move. I want it to be nice and tight. That's just my preference. I don't know about you guys. We're good All right, we're gonna go ahead and punch it and see the reaction, see how it goes. Slow lag, but it's got some pickup on it. We're already going 80s, 60. I mean 20 miles an hour. That was a quick 20 miles an hour. That was nice. Nothing that's jaw dropping. I'll give you that, and I'll be honest with you. I don't. How you feel about that? I just had a nice little pickup. Didn't knock my socks off. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Didn't impress me.
This car is more looks right now, in my opinion, than it is performance. It's a very nice car. I promise you, if you're buying one of these, you put them at a show, it's gonna look great. But I like to compare it to pretty much, you look all muscular, you got that nice muscle on the outside. Well, go ahead and drop your trousers. Let's see what's up. That's what's gonna happen, and you're gonna be disappointed. So that's how I feel about this car so far. Unfortunately, it looks great. Nice, beautiful car. It really is. Nice tinted window. I love the wheels on it, but you can throw some quick mods on this thing and be good to go. But for an EcoBoost, not so much. I'll tell you what though, I'm pushing it and you hunker down in your seat there a little bit. You feel it. Feel your bottom get pulled down. Nice little sound to it. Not a big grumble like a normal V8, but it's a 4-cylinder engine, and it's very impressive considering. Now, let's back it up a little bit, and what am I comparing this to, guys? It's a 4-cylinder engine, so we got to be realistic here. We're comparing this car to it's a V8, which we know is way more horsepower, and it is very impressive what this engine is outputting, considering the fact that it's a 4-cylinder. It's very impressive. So I hate to say that I'm holding it to a standard of a V8, but here's the thing. I'm comparing it to a V8 because of the price bracket. It's in the price bracket of a V8. I can go buy me a GT Mustang from the same dealership probably for the same price range. This model itself, got that paper back there, which I'll show you in a second. Can you open that up for me?
That's running
right now. Yeah, 37,650, guys. That's how much this car costs. 37,650. Now the dealership may work with you a little bit and get that a little bit lower, or after taxes it might be a little bit higher. But I'm just telling you, that's what the price range we're getting. You could probably get a 2017 Ford GT and probably get the same price range out of there with a little bit, maybe a little more miles. So that's my point, and that's the reason why it's getting such a harsh critique from me. Why am I being so rude, so harsh on this little 4-cylinder car? Well, guys, it's the price range. That's the problem. If you would have told me this car was 25 grand or 30 grand or maybe even in the high 20s, I would have been like, you know what, okay, I can deal with that, because you can't get a Mustang like that for this price, you know, in the older models. If you could tell me basically that I could get this car for 25 grand, I would have been like, heck yeah, that's a great deal. Or even in the high 20s, I would be okay. You can make an argument. But now that we're talking in the high 30s and we're creeping up into the 40s, think what you can buy with $40,000 as far as cars go. I mean, it's not that great. The body style on this car, awesome. And we'll look at that again. We'll follow through that in just a second. But the actual in the interior, pretty nice. But you guys saw the quality, how I felt about it. I like how it looks. Only problem with the car is obviously it's just a little bit not worth the price for me. So I'm gonna go ahead and quickly look up some information to compare this to understand why I'm so critical of this car. I'm gonna be as completely honest as I can with you guys, and I don't want to hold back just because these guys are great. By the way, Village Ford is where it's at. You guys, come and get your car here. The people here are awesome, very humble, very hospitable. They just brought me in open arms. I mean, these guys let me test drive these cars so I can share them with you and give you my honest opinion. And they just told me, hey, be honest. You know what I'm saying? But I'll tell you right now, these guys are A1. Come and give them your business. But I'm gonna go ahead and show you exactly what the GT is going for compared to this 4-cylinder EcoBoost engine. So just give me Ford.com. So guys, I'm looking here at this prices. They start off at $25,680. Much better price than what I was saying, which I did state when we were pulling in. I thought to myself, I said, look, I wish this car, if it was in the 25,000 range, I would think it would be a great deal. So it does start at, I don't know if you can see that, but it does start at 25,000. Of course, that's just your basic model, your base model, so you will be adding on things. You can probably, though, get a used one and then add on some add-ons yourself and still spend less. Ford, get your site together. This thing is too much to hop around. I can get a GT Fastback, probably with the same interior, which is a V8 for $35,190. So this car cost manufacturer, so MSRP is $35,955. So I can still get me a V8 for
basically the same price.
Same price. So that's my point, guys. I just think
a lot more horsepower.
That's why it gets the harsh criticism. This right here gives you a nice little look, nice little feel that you're in a performance car. Like I said, guys, power lifter, and you can only bench 100 pounds, 200 pounds. That's how it feels to me. Always love the knobs. So as obviously you can switch these things up. You can turn off traction control. You can't affect the actual steering. So it's got a, let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. Well, as you guys know, we're low on gas. But you got comfort mode, normal mode, sport mode. So it's pretty much nothing crazy. Let's see, that's the steering wheel. Now this right here is a drive mode. You got a normal mode, sport plus, track mode, and it's got a drag strip mode. So that's pretty cool. I wonder if that just looks like a line lock. Let's find out. I'll be right back. Just want to know what this is about. Now in the 2015, it had a bunch of modes. I think it only had like 4 modes. If that, it was just your Sport Plus mode. Actually, I can tell you right now, it had normal mode, Sport Plus mode, track mode, and I think it had, I don't even think it had a snow wet mode, but this one does, and it had a drag strip mode, and I'm very curious to know what the drag strip mode is like, because of the fact that I love the drag strip. So what exactly is that all about? We're just gonna test it out one time and see how it is. Difference. I was kind of curious to know what that was all about. What is drag strip mode? I think that's pretty neat. And
you just feel it a little.
You just feel a little punch. Yeah.
When it changes from one speed to another.
Yeah. So
when it changes gears.
Yeah, you feel it. It's cool. It's nice. But that's it. So, all right, guys, let's head right back to the dealership. There it is again. Feel your stomach. Oh. So, this isn't good for me, guys. I'm gonna throw up on camera. There goes my street cred. I felt my pump shift backwards. That was pretty cool. Alright, so we're gonna take it back because we're running low on fuel. So I don't want this car to break down and then we gotta push it all the way back. Man, I just did a whole speech, guys, and it wasn't even recording. Alright, let's wrap up this Ford Mustang. What did I think about it? What did we think about it? Now, we did test drive the Ford Ecoboost, the 2018 Ford Ecoboost. It does have a turbo in it, and so we wanted to see exactly what the hype was. I was interested in it a while ago for my wife before we got the Honda Accord, and then we ended up not getting it. It just fell through. We never got to test drive it, but I'm kind of glad we didn't. It really was not that impressive.
Didn't impress me at all.
Not at all. So.
Not for the price range. Not for the way the vehicle handles. Didn't impress me at all. I would definitely not spend the money on it. I'd rather get the GT that we tested. That we drove.
Not GT. That was another EcoBoost. So real quick before we get into that, and I'll explain why. That reason why we're kind of upset about this car, about the we drove an orange EcoBoost. That car cost $37,000 on the sticker. Now, obviously, we did find out that when you go into the back, when you go into the store, they're going to bring it down a little bit. So keep that in mind. But still, for the price, it just was not worth it because of the fact that you were so close to the price of a V8 and of a GT. So we were talking about it with the manager and with my buddy Shane, and he was saying that if you want to save the money, go ahead and get yourself an EcoBoost, and then just you can put a tune on it, do a couple things, no more than $1,000, and you can get almost 400 horsepower for it. Save you 8 grand and then getting a GT. But the problem with this car was it was a performance package. This car was more designed for what he was telling me is more for the looks. It's more to go out and shows, you look nice, you have the looks of a sports car, but you have the fuel economy of an economic car. So the gas mileage is around 25 miles to the gallon, which is 25, which is very impressive for a sports car. But as you guys saw when we were driving it, it just wasn't that great. Now, we did in between, which we did not record, we did get the test drive the manager's car, and he has an EcoBoost as well. So I wanted to see exactly, and he told me he did a tune on it, and you put a cold air intake in it. So just a little bit of modifications. As you know, cold air intake probably costs $100 to $200, maybe $400 if you get one of these high-end ones. So that was that, and he got the tune on it, which costs around $500 to $700 depending on who you get it done by or where you get it done by, and that boosted the car almost up to 400 horsepower with around 390. So he saved the money, and guys, I'll tell you, night and day the difference between those two cars.
Most definitely.
Yes, right when we got in it, had the pickup, had a nice little feel to it, just like the other one. Had better, I don't know what it was, but the quality of the steering wheel was much better. When I punched it on the EcoBoost, on the first one, on the orange one, it was kind of a delay, and then it would take off. This one, on the manager's one, which we did not, like I said, we did not record, it just pushed you. It went. You felt it going. It was actually doing its thing, and it was very impressive. Had a great feel to it. So that's my thing. I think that if you're gonna get an if you're gonna get this Mustang, I would totally get just a normal standard one, and go ahead and get yourself. If you're gonna get an EcoBoost, get a tune. You're gonna enjoy the heck out of it, and you'll get the feeling of a GT.
Get a tune, get the air intake,
yep,
and you will have that power and that feeling of a GT.
Yep. Now, one little disclaimer, guys. You guys know a lot of dealerships, a lot of car companies do not like tunes, so be very careful there. You don't want to void your warranty. That's that. Now, real quick, interior great. It was no different than the 15, and actually the 15 was a little bit nicer. Had the premium leather, which I thought was way better. This one did not have premium leather. It was just cloth, kind of iffy. Just like any other Mustang, no back seat. So if you think about riding with kids, don't even think about it. If the kid's older than 6, you're in trouble. All right, so get a roof rack or something. So guys, that's pretty much it. It's all I got for you today. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you got this far, if you like it, give me a like, give me a subscribe. Let me know what you want to test drive, because now we're getting a little more traction, and we're able to meet with different people, and they're able to understand we're the real deal, and they'll let us test drive their cars and do actual reviews on it. So let me know what you like, what you want to see. Thank you guys. Be blessed, be safe, drive safe. Peace.